Hi everyone, I guess we can get started. So, our last lesson, I think we learned introduction to Git and how to install to make the installations. Let me share my screen. Hey, am I audible and can you see my screen?
Yes, you're audible and we can see your screen.
Okay, I wanted to go deep into Git. These are the resources that I was using. My content came from the former website that we were using. So, what is Git? Git is basically a version control which helps you track changes in code, allow multiple people to work on the same project, like you can collaborate in a project. Watu wengi collaborate in one project. And Git was created by Linus, the one who created Linux too. So why use Git? It keeps history of your code, makes collaboration easier, prevents loss of work, and helps you experiment safely. Hauna woga ya kupoteza your data. So Git versus GitHub. A lot of people confuse Git and GitHub. So Git is a tool installed on your computer. It just tracks changes locally. GitHub, it's an online platform for hosting Git repositories, and it enables collaboration and backup. So basic Git workflow, you write your code, you send your changes, we will see that practically in a way. You commit changes, then you push to GitHub. Important Git terms, a lot of us hear about repository. Repository is just a project folder. Commit, saved snapshot is like taking a snapshot of your code and saving it. Then branch, parallel version of code. Main default branch, it was called master formerly. Clone is copying your repo. So how do you install Git? We learned about this in our former tutorial. You can check it out. And you can also install it by downloading from gitscm.com website. Then you can check if it's installed well using Git version. So we can check, I think we can check practically. For example, you go on your terminal. In a terminal, it can be VS Code or CMD, and it can work. So Git version. Here you can see our version is 2.52.0. Starting from the beginning. Okay, you are here. So here is our first Git commands. It's git init, git status, git add, git commit, and fast commit. Yeah, and connecting to GitHub, Git remote, and your origin, then you copy your repo, then you push your code. We can do that practically too. First, we will go to GitHub. This is the site that we are using. Let's wait for it to load. Here, then we navigate to new. Then name your repo. Let's call it Hello World. You will see that your name is available. You navigate, then you create your repo. Then here they will guide you on how to push to GitHub. We can create just a Hello World project. Let me close this folder. Well, bytecode there because okay, let's open a terminal to create a folder, or you can create it manually, whatever way you prefer. Okay. As it loads, let me create manually. We can create it here. Folder. We can call it Hello World. Then open folder from desktop. Hello World. We select a folder. Here it is. Let's just bytecode a Hello World. Maybe HTML. Oh yes, I trust. Code. Here it is. So that's our Hello World. We can run it with live server. To do so, you have to have live server installed in your Visual Studio Code. There it is. So let's go ahead with our tutorial. So you will initialize your GitHub, Git first, not GitHub. Terminal is taking a while. Okay, my termin has decided. It will take forever. Let me reopen the ID again and see what's up with it. Yeah, there it is. You can see here that we are in our Hello World folder, the one that we created right here. So we will initialize our Git. After initializing, I think it's Git add, we'll add our project. You write Git and then a full stop, that's or a period. Git add space, then period, then enter. You have added your project to Git, and then we commit our project. Yeah, by committing, that's whereby you're taking a screenshot of your project. Then we create a branch. You can name your branch anything you want. For example, when you're working with different features and you're collaborating, you can name one branch main, another branch, let's say landing page. Yeah. So we will create our branch. And then this is whereby you connect your project to GitHub from you hand it, then you push. So we are handing it to our repo that we created earlier on. Yeah, it was successfully handed. Then you push to your main branch. You can see a git push you origin main. You have pushed it successfully. After pushing, you can refresh. You can see our little HTML hello world file here. You can navigate and see what's inside. You can see our code. So let's move on. Yeah, we have done that. So common Git commands, we have git pull, git log, git branch, and git checkout. You use git pull when you're pulling a project from GitHub or for you to contribute into it. We use git log when we want to see the logs of what we were doing. Git branch, we have used it to create a branch to check what is on that branch. And git checkout, we use it to check out of the current branch to another branch. So typical Git mistakes. This is a mistake I've faced myself, forgetting how to commit your changes, not pulling before pushing, writing poor commit messages. We have seen this with a lot of code. If you're a beginner, you will come across this. And pushing secrets. I was reading a story about someone who pushed their API keys and it did cost them a lot of money. So if you have API keys, you put it in separate file and leave it out when you're pushing your code to GitHub. Best practices is to commit often, make changes to your code. You write clear commit messages, you pull before you push, and use branches for features, especially when you are collaborating with a lot of teammates or a lot of people. So who uses Git? Software developers, data scientists, DevOps engineers, open source contributors. Resources, there's a lot of resources out there, but some of them is the official Git site and try Git, free code camp, and GitHub documentations. Thank you. Yeah, any questions? Maswali? Up for Q and hey. Oh, okay. When you're collaborating, you invite members.
Okay. Uh, James, if I can answer that. So when you want to collaborate with someone on the project, so one of you is going to create the GitHub repository that you want to for the project, and then if in GitHub when you're viewing the a repository, you can go to settings where you'll get the option. You'll see an option called collaborators. If you go there, you can invite someone as a collaborator on that project. So them being a collaborator allows them to be able to push to that repository that you've created. And in terms of now, when you're doing the normal coding, in terms of also, if you're asking in terms of also them seeing your code, right? So once you've written some, let's say if we're working on a website, I'm working on front end, you're working on back end. So you see, like along the way, each of us needs to, I need to get the back end code for me to be able to run it locally on my machine, right? Unless if it can be deployed and I just get the APIs, but yeah. So or even if maybe both of us are collaborating on that front end. So maybe I'm working on the home page, you're working on the about page. So both of you will clone from the repository, and then each of you is going to begin working on the section that they were assigned. Once you are done, as we were told, you need to pull before you push. So once you are done and you now want to push your changes so that someone else can view it on GitHub, you need to first of all check if there is anything, so you can run git pull. If you don't get, if you are told that there are no changes, then you can go ahead and push your changes, and then the person you are collaborating with will also pull from their side, and that should allow them to be able to do that. I think, yeah, they will be able to view the code that you just pushed. If that answers it.
James, is your question answered? Cool. Any other question?
Hello, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're trying to push and you've forgotten that you had made some changes in the one that is online, that is you forgot to pull. You usually find yourself in a situation where in a, I don't know, a merge conflict. How do you go about it?
Okay, you will have to resolve that conflict before you push. So that means maybe you can. There's many ways to do so. You can undo. Okay, you can pull from. Okay, me what I usually do, I pull from VS Code first. Go back and pull the code that is in GitHub, then merge the changes, then push. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I can also add, sometimes maybe you are not the person who maybe did the change that is online. I'm assuming in your case, you just worked on something, then you tried pushing and you get a warning that there's some code online that has different changes, and you're told you need to pull first. And then you run git pull and you get an error saying, that is telling you, you need to resolve the merge errors that have occurred. So one thing that I also, if I'm working on a project, one thing that I also do is not everyone has the same level of experience. For example, in Git and GitHub, right? So personally, if I'm not that good at resolving the errors that I'm getting, then what you can do is you can usually when you run git checkout or git branch, if you create a new branch, it copies the code from your current branch, right? Because for you to get that error, it means that the branch that you're trying to push to has some changes that you don't have locally. So I'm just giving a scenario where in your case, you don't know how to resolve the merge errors, because if you can, then you'll just fix the code and then push it. But if you are unable to, you can create a new branch which will copy all the code that you've changed. Then you push to that new branch, and you ask someone to help you with the merge conflicts. So that person will go to the new branch that you've created. Then they are going to now start and merge the branch that had some changes online, and they will resolve it, and then you can be able to just pull when the changes have already been resolved. because sometimes you might find maybe I modified when I was installing my package, I modified package.json, and then in your case, you also modified it. So if there's different changes, the GitHub is not going to automatically decide which version to use, or should it just combine the two. So like what a person has to actually check what is causing these issues. Oh, so two people tried installing. Is it the same package? If it's the same package, you choose one either of the two. If it is different packages, then you have to combine the two. You have to combine the two codes to make sure that each of the packages are retained. So if you cannot be able to do that, a workaround would be create a new branch that doesn't have anything online, so there's no problem with pushing. You push it, and then someone will just be able to resolve the issues for you. But yeah, if you can, also you can just resolve it yourself.
I want to ask something. Whenever that merge conflict occurs, there is a default editor that opens. It is usually Vim. And for somebody that does not know how to, or has never experienced something like that, it's difficult, first of all, to get out of the editor itself. I think you can provide a way of going about it.
Okay, yes, I understand what you're saying, and it's a very tricky thing, because personally I used to hate it a lot, because Vim is very terrible for managing Git conflicts, and VS Code actually has a very nice merging conflict editor, right? Because they usually give you your editor is split into three sections. One for the incoming code, which is from online. The other is the one for that you have, and then the third one is what you want it to be after that. So like VS Code has a very nice way. Now, it's good that you already know that is Vim, that it's opened up, and there's no workaround other than, first of all, you really need to know how to exit Vim, right? You have to know how to exit Vim. Now, another thing would be if you don't know how to exit Vim, just close that VS Code, right? Close that VS Code, go to where the project is, open a new terminal there, run the branch command. Just create a new branch. Just leave those issues, create a new branch, and yeah. But other than that, because once Vim has already come up, right? Quitting that is not easy. It's not easy, right? But luckily you have commits. Because for you to run git push, you already run git commit, right? So regardless of what you do, even if you mess up that much, all is not lost. All is not lost. That's what I can say. So I think for in that specific scenario, you need to know how, some commands. Personally, I use GPT to run something like now. What you can do is you had made your commit, you're trying to push, then Vim comes up. Since I don't know how to merge well in Vim, what I can do, I will just exit it without making any changes. Now it will do some default things that you don't want, but if you see in the editor, there's usually the version control where it shows you the files modified and something like that, right? So if it has done some modifications that you did not want, you can just go and ask GPT how to go back to the previous commit, the one that you made that you were trying to push, and you go back to that, and then now after going back to that, you use the VS Code option to fetch changes from online, right? So that it will use the default VS Code one, and you can be able to like resolve. That is to help you avoid this Vim situation. I'm assuming that's what you are asking.
I can hand on that. Okay, mostly when you enter Vim, you will have to need to escape so that urudi kwa the normal mode, and then maybe you can save if there's changes you made there if you were able to, or just leave it that and close your terminal. Yeah, I guess you can Google how to do that. Yeah, but the first step is to escape so that you can go into normal mode. Kelvin, hope your question was answered.
Yeah, yeah. I think I can share. There is a command. I think you have to press escape first, then you press Q, if I'm not wrong, then with the exclamation mark. I think that can enable one to escape the Vim editor, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure if that's correct. Somebody can confirm.
Okay. Any other question, suggestion, addition? Okay, James. On Saturday, what do we need to do before? I guess you have to install the VS Code IDE or the IDE that you prefer. Install Git in your machine. Yeah. I guess Kimaru, any other thing that is needed.
No. I think as long as the everyone makes sure that you come with your laptop and you have VS Code installed. Yeah, and maybe a few extensions. And if you are gonna have data, there's no need for that. You can also just install the extensions quick while we are there. But mostly that is it.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, since yeah, the venue will be communicated. Any other question or remarks? Since tumenyamaza, I guess kila mtu ameelewa. Yeah, that's it for me. Kimaru and Kelvin, anything to add before we end the session?
No, I think I'm good as well. So that should be okay. I think we can leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, bye. Thank you for joining. Bye.